This is the summary for The Great Gatsby, Chapter 7. Gatsby calls off all of his parties and fires all of his servants to prevent gossip because he's finally gotten Daisy, so he really doesn't need to throw the parties anymore. On the hottest day of the summer, which is a symbol for things heating up, and it's the biggest high point in the story where the climax is coming in, Nick drives to East Egg to have lunch at Tom and Daisy's. Gatsby and Jordan are already there. He finds that a little strange. Daisy's little daughter, baby girl, is there, which Gatsby is kind of uncomfortable with. Daisy doesn't seem like she's very interested in her daughter. It's a very awkward afternoon because Daisy and Gatsby keep looking at each other and talking. They can't really hide their love for each other, and Tom is standing right there, her husband, so that's a little strange. So then Daisy asks Gatsby if he wants to go into the city so they can do something more interesting because, she's always bored. And that's when Tom is pretty sure that they have feelings for each other. She also starts making comments like, "You're so cool," which of course is not going to help the situation. Tom has now pretty much figured out that Daisy's cheating on him with Gatsby, so he wants a confrontation. So he decides they should go into the city together, and he's going to confront Gatsby there. Nick rides in a car with Jordan and Tom in Gatsby's car, and then Gatsby and Daisy ride together in Tom's car. I know this is very strange, but don't ask. Stopping for gas at Wilson's garage, Nick, Tom, and Jordan find out that Wilson figured out his wife has been unfaithful. It's called infidelity. It's cheating. And he plans to move her out west, and they're going to move somewhere else so he can get her away from whoever she's cheating with because he's not sure who it is. So he's caught on to Myrtle. He just doesn't know that she's sleeping with Tom. And they see the eyes of the billboard, which is a symbol for someone is watching you, like someone's watching over you, that God knows your sins, even though other people may not know. Tom and Wilson are in the same position. Their wives are both cheating on them, and that's something that Nick sort of realizes in that moment. It's so hot that day. They decide to go get a suite at the Plaza Hotel when they get downtown. Tom has his confrontation with Gatsby. He mocks his habit of calling him old sport. He accuses Gatsby of lying about going to Oxford. Gatsby says, "No, I went there for a little while." Anyway, they go back and forth. Tom basically gets to the point where he asks Gatsby, "What do you plan to do with my wife? What is going on here?" And Gatsby finally says, "Your wife loves me. She doesn't love you." But Tom says, "We have a history together, me and my wife," and doesn't think that Gatsby could actually understand. I think they're just rich and they're going to stick together, and that's kind of my opinion on that, but and then he accuses Gatsby of running a bootlegging operation so that he can make his money. Now, Daisy, earlier in the day, was so in love with Gatsby. All of a sudden, when she hears about this possible bootlegging, she starts kind of moving closer and closer to Tom. She's more into him. She remembers their history together, that they have a kid. And that's the moment when Tom realizes that he has beat Gatsby and he's going to be able to keep his wife. He's pretty sure. So, look at this. Tom is so arrogant in this that he sends Daisy back to Long Island, back to their house with Gatsby, just to prove that he has power over him and that Gatsby isn't going to be able to do anything to Tom and Daisy. Nick realizes at this moment that it's his 30th birthday. Just really weird. I don't know how you forget your birthday. Maybe Nick was too into all this other stuff that was going on, but it's really strange. They drive back to Long Island. Nick, Tom, and Jordan are together because remember, Gatsby and Daisy had gone in the car before them. They're driving through, and when they get to the Valley of Ashes, they find out there's been an accident, and they find out Myrtle is the person who was in the accident, that there was a car that came in before them that was coming in from New York City that hit her and then sped away and it was a hit and run. So Nick realizes it must have been Myrtle that hit Daisy, or that hit Myrtle. Daisy must have been the one hit by Daisy and Gatsby, probably in Gatsby's big yellow car. Tom thinks that Wilson will remember that yellow car from that afternoon, and then he also assumes that Gatsby was the driver. Finally, they get back. Everybody's back home. Back at Tom's house, Nick goes outside to kind of see what's going on at Tom and Daisy's, and he finds Gatsby there waiting in the bushes. Very strange. Gatsby claims that he's there been there for a while. He's been waiting outside, making sure that Tom didn't hurt Daisy, like hit her or do something crazy. Nick finds out that Daisy was driving when the car hit Myrtle, but Gatsby's the one that's going to take the blame for it. So Nick says he's just standing there to check on her, or Gatsby says he wants Nick to go check on her to make sure everything's okay. So Nick goes up to the window, and guess what he sees? Tom and Daisy are sitting at the table eating fried chicken and talking like everything's fine. So they have completely made peace. Everything's fine. They're not even fighting. Nick realizes that Gatsby's not going to leave it alone. So Nick just leaves Gatsby standing there alone at night. And the quote in the book is, he leaves him standing there watching over nothing because there's nothing more to see. He realizes that Gatsby he's obsessed with someone who's never going to love him, and it's not going to work out.